What's going on, you guys? This is Eric Cuts for the Win. Just wanted to talk about PSX, my trip, my experience, all that good stuff, just to let you guys know how it was. This was my first time going, so I didn't really know what to expect. I just knew that, this was an event that was for the fans. I had like a 50-50 chance getting in as press. Didn't work out, so I went as a fan technically, but I was able to do some press type of things there. I was able to have some interviews, some hands-on appointments with some developers, and that was pretty cool. So I enjoyed PSX as a whole just because I was able to go kind of as press, but at the same time I got to go as a fan and just as a gamer. And because this event is mostly for fans, it was awesome because I was able to be around just a bunch of gamers and a bunch of people who were like me and just were going for the love of gaming and for the love of PlayStation. So it was really cool as a whole. I really enjoyed PSX. I definitely recommend it if you guys can do it next year. It's just one of those things that makes you feel connected to everybody. And I was able to even actually run into people who recognize me. And that is something that did not happen at E3, because E3 is just all press. It's all media. Nobody knows me, you know what I mean? And so it was cool to just be at an event where I had a higher chance of running into people that I might know, from Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. There were people who just said hi to me and I was like, hey, how's it going? But I didn't even know who they were. And some of them I met, some people just said hi. And it was really cool in that way. Let's just start with the beginning, all right, how it all started. And that was with the conference. Now, this conference was not good. In a nutshell, it was disappointing. But I might be just speaking for myself, but I didn't really have that as my focus. So I wasn't disappointed enough to think, oh my gosh, this sucked so bad. I wasn't really thinking that because my focus was getting on the floor, talking to developers, meeting people, and networking. That was my focus. So when it came to the conference, that was just kind of like something extra. And the fact that it wasn't very good didn't really bum me out to the point where I thought, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I didn't even think that. And I know a lot of people are at home, they were at home watching the conference and they were tweeting and talking about how they felt bad for us, for the people who spent money to get there, especially if they were traveling from afar, flying in and all of that. From all the people I talked to, and including myself, we had a blast at this PSX. So all that talk about that we wasted our money, not true. We had a lot of fun. And just like I was saying with, being able to meet developers and meet other gamers and play games on the floor, 2 floors to be exact. There were 2 floors just full of games. It was very much worth it. So when people want to say we wasted our money, don't listen to them. It's not true. We had a great time. If you just went for only the conference and that was like all your hope, maybe you might feel like you wasted your money. But if you were social, you met people, you met developers, you played the games, I'm pretty positive, you probably had some fun. And it was a nice little trip. So, yeah, the conference though, just to be more specific, it just had really bad pacing. That was one thing. It started real good. It had a lot of hype at the beginning, but then I'd say right after Battlefront, those little highlights, I actually enjoyed those. So I'm just kind of speaking for myself. Right after that, it pretty much just went downhill. The pacing was bad, like I said. There were a couple gems in there. There were a couple good things that we saw, but overall, it was just not a very good showing. There were a lot of indies, of course, and then there was a lot of VR talk. And the VR talk was what really kind of set me over the edge and had me debating on getting food and getting some coffee. Like, I actually thought to myself, like, you know what? If I leave right now, the food lines and all of that won't be that bad. Maybe I should just, go and get some food because I was hungry. I was kind of sleepy. And, just to prove that this conference was not really my focus, I didn't even get in line. We didn't even wait in line, me and Kenny. We woke up at like 8 o'clock, got there at 9, and sat down right away. So even though we were in the back, as long as we were there, I was like, this is cool. No big deal. Because I think, honestly, I kind of felt like there wasn't going to be a lot of huge announcements. I just kind of had that gut feeling that they were going to save it for E3, but I still had some hope that it would at least be, a decent conference. But as I was sitting there watching this VR stuff, I was thinking, damn, maybe I should just go eat right now because this is not good. And the thing with the indies, I don't mind indies. I actually do like indies, and I rarely ever hate on them, especially because I know how passionate these developers are, especially when I get to talk to them. I understand that, man, these guys really put their heart into these games, and so I appreciate that. And I'm always going to have an open mind. The pacing was bad with these indies, and the thing that bothered me is that there's some really good indie games out there that are coming, you guys. I got to play some on the floor, and they didn't even talk about them in the conference. There's a couple that I can think of right now, and I'll probably talk about it later in this video, but they are really awesome looking games, and they didn't even talk about it during the keynote. So that's what got to me and made me think, like, damn, they could have done so much better when it came to these indies. They could have showed the games that are actually really freaking good, and they just didn't do that. So as a whole, this conference was just disappointing. But like I was saying, because it was not my focus and it was not the highlight that I was looking forward to, I just kind of shrugged it off and forgot about it, honestly. Once I got to the floor and I got to meeting people, and I met up with Jaylisa, she's from SheAttack.com as well, and we started working together and planning things out, and I was getting ready for my interviews and everything, I completely forgot about the keynote. It was just irrelevant at that point because the floor is what it's all about, at least to me. So yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say on the conference. It was bad, but I moved on. And I noticed that on social media, and, all the people that weren't there, they just kept on about it. And it's because they're not there. They don't get to see what's behind the scenes. They don't get to see what else there is to offer. And I did. So I just wanted to tell you guys and kind of, emphasize that, it's the whole experience that makes it what it is. And you can't just focus on just the conference alone. Just because that sucked doesn't mean the whole experience sucked. Far from it. It was a really awesome experience. Like I said, once I got to the floor, I got to meet some people. I got to talk to people who live stream. I got to talk to people who do YouTube. And it was very, very inspiring. I went ahead and told them, my own personal issues with consistency, because that's a problem I have when it comes to Twitch, when it comes to YouTube. I like doing content, but I'm just not as consistent as I should be. And I had a lot of people, a few of them who just, encouraged me and told me some advice. And I really appreciated that. That was the cool thing about this whole trip, is I got to talk to people who were just like me. They stream on Twitch. They don't have a lot of followers, or they're on YouTube and they don't have a lot of followers. And it was awesome to talk to people and kind of get inspired from them. And I hope they got inspired from me too. I hope that I was able to give back in that way, because that means a lot to me. I love talking to people, and I love just getting encouraged and inspired. And that's definitely what I'm feeling right now, especially making this video. I'm I'm just down to do more. I'm down to stream more. And if I do actually start to get really consistent, I'm going to owe it all to PSX, because it just meant a lot to me to be able to talk to people who were just like me, like I was saying. I also had an interview with Bungie, which was pretty damn cool. Even though I'm not the biggest Destiny fan, I kind of felt like a fraud up in there, but I had an open mind and I really wanted to check out the Sparrow races. When I saw that announced during the conference, it actually impressed me. I thought, wow, we could actually race. That's cool. That was something that I had suggested just amongst me and like Shar and some other people. Like, damn, wouldn't it be cool if we got to race these things? When the game first launched, I was thinking that. And so when they announced that, I thought, okay, Bungie, I see you. And I was about to interview them, so I was getting hyped up. I had some questions for them. And the whole thing was just another learning experience. I appreciated Bungie giving me the time. Jerry Hook specifically, he's the project lead of Bungie. And it was funny because when I first met him and I asked him for his title, because I wanted to be able to introduce him on video, in a proper fashion. And he told me this really long title. I think he said project lead for the live team, with a couple more words in there. I don't remember. It was kind of long. And when he told me that the first time, I was like, damn, that's a lot it's a lot to remember right now. Because I had to literally jump from playing the game, testing it out, and then jump right into the interview. So I was a little bit scrambled. I was just trying to get all my thoughts together, remember my questions. I pulled out my notepad and everything. I was prepared. But it's a crazy experience, because you go from playing straight to the interview, and it's like, oh shoot, I've got to interview you right now. Like, this is crazy. And like I was saying, he told me this really long title. So when I got on video, I was like, this is Jerry Hook, the lead you're going to have to say that for me again. And he said it again, but instead of saying that long title, he actually shortened it. He was like, oh yeah, I'm the project lead. And I was like thinking in my head, I'm going to look so dumb right now. like I couldn't remember that, but he shortened it on film. So I was like, damn it. I wish we would have shortened it from the get-go, but it's all good. Jerry was gracious. He was really nice. I enjoyed talking to him. Really cool guy. And, it made me grow some respect for Bungie and just, the game Destiny overall. Like, I just really felt like, damn, this is something I think can bring me back to Destiny just a little bit, at least to try it out. So I definitely enjoyed my time with Bungie. I also had appointments to see this game called Chasm, which if you guys like Metroid and you like Castlevania, you're going to love this Metroidvania, as they call it. It's a challenging game. It's an indie, of course. And like I was saying, this is one of the games that I saw and thought was really good, and they did not even talk about it during the conference. At least I don't think so. If I'm wrong, definitely correct me. But I didn't see it. I also got to check out Assault Android Cactus, which is a really, really awesome game. Really fun twin stick shooter. You can do co-op and just go up kind of as a team. You're fighting these enemies, but at the same time, there's some challenge there and some competitiveness because you're trying to get a better score than them. You're trying to fight for like the resources there and the power-ups and everything. And so I enjoyed that. I played with Kenny, and I think he did better than me like the whole time. And I was like, damn it. And I wanted to play more. It made me want to play more. So those two games were definitely awesome. I also got to check out Amplitude, which I have been looking forward to. I was a huge Frequency fan back in the day when PS2 had that game, and that was like my favorite game on PS2. So I definitely wanted to check out Amplitude. I was talking to the developers and telling them my love for Frequency. I was asking them a bunch of questions. You guys definitely should check out the game. I think it comes out like next month on PSN. It's probably not even going to be that expensive. So yeah, definitely check out that game. I also ran into some people that you guys probably know, like Maximilian, for example. He actually recognized me, which made my day. He was like, yeah, I recognize you. And he kind of gave me a big smile, and we shook hands. And Jalisa was with me too, so I introduced her. She got a picture with him. He's such a cool guy. I love Maximilian. He's so fun. And then I also ran into a guy that Jalisa knows. His name was Denzel. And I was like, oh wow, Denzel. I never met a Denzel before. He stood out to me because he told me that he recognized me from BG's podcast. And I just thought that was awesome. So shout out to BG. Thank you again for having me on the podcast. People are recognizing me because of that. And that's awesome. So like I was saying, PSX is for the fans. And it's like, there's more chance of me meeting people who actually know me and I know them, whether it's, just knowing them through Facebook or they comment on my videos. Kevin, for example, shout out to you. He was telling me, yeah, I comment on your videos. I watch them all the time. And I was like, that is so awesome. I actually felt loved, and I was trying my best to show my love back and just catch people who I know, like Malik, for example. I caught him. I was like, hey, do you know me? And he kind of recognized me, but we said hi. I got to officially meet him. And so it was just a really cool experience. And not only that, but the developers, man, David Jaffe was there just chopping it up with us, hanging out. We were just sitting on the floor, just literally sitting there talking about sports and talking about his kids and talking about game development and everything. And Jalisa was with me, and then Bobby. What's up, Bobby? He came and joined, and then I was texting Kenny, like, get over here. David's here. He's talking to us. And Kenny comes, and we're just hanging out, talking about video games. It was just awesome. And so David, I always want to express my gratitude for you, because that's how developers should be, man. He really knows how to show his appreciation for the fans. His voice was gone. He was tired. He was, trying to eat and get energized because he still had to, run the floor and talk to people about his games. And he's over here taking time out of his day to talk to us and just hang out. And I just thought that was awesome. He's such a great guy. But yeah, man, that was pretty much that was day 2. I was really taking the time to talk to people and network, pass my cards around. And it was just awesome. So like I was saying earlier, don't believe people when they say that this was a waste of money for us or a bad experience. If you base it just on the conference alone, yeah, you might think that. But as a whole, man, it was such a great experience. Just shout out to everybody who I met and caught up with. You guys are awesome. And I'm pretty positive. I can tell by the smiles and what they were saying. Everybody had a great time. Everybody who I talked to. We were all just happy to be there. And so, like I was saying, just if you can go next year, definitely do it. It's something to see. It's something to experience, especially if you don't write for sites, or you're not a big YouTuber and you can't get in as media. There's a lot of people out there who can't. This is your chance to really go to a conference and go to an event where you can talk to developers and play games before anybody else. I mean, what's better than that? So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I just kind of wanted to run through. This video is kind of long now, but I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the footage. I'll probably put like some background stuff you guys can check out. I didn't take a lot of footage like I should have. I was mostly focused on my interviews and things like that, but I took enough for you guys to kind of get a gist of how it was on the floor and how it was with, meeting people and talking to devs and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the commentary, and I will see you in the next video, you guys. Thanks again. Peace.